The person watching you drown is no different than the person holding your head beneath the water. And no one can explain this better than a survivor of narcissistic abuse, a survivor of psychological warfare, let's call it that. A person with narcissistic personality disorder will literally do anything for a complete stranger while abusing their family at home. This is a very common theme with these types of personalities because they're wearing a mask. They want everyone out there to think they are God's gift to creation. Only the people closest to them get to see their true colors. But they train and condition you to believe you are wrong. That is not reality. What they have done to you is not real. I was gaslit, manipulated, controlled, psychologically, emotionally, verbally, physically abused for almost 19 years of my life. From the time I was 18 years old until last year, exactly a year ago today, I was 36 years old. I am now 37. I have researched narcissism to every extent of the word. I had to understand what just happened. I was so mind fucked when I left this relationship. Just a few hours ago, my friend on here is developing an app when you have to co-parent with a narcissist. So she is kind of looking for people to submit abusive text messages so she can process them. So I kind of went back into my phone. I've done this many times between domestic violence court, criminal court, and family court. I've screenshotted a lot of screenshots. It was insane to see the mental state that I was in. My ex used to call me crazy. He used to call me manic. And this was like 48 hours after he would strangle me. He broke my sternum bone. He slipped discs in my back. I mean, but I could tell you stories for days. When I was 19, he also tried to lay on the train tracks when I tried to leave him because he was abusing illicit drugs and I was in college and had no idea. He would just threaten to unalive himself, and that was how the cycle began. I would find out that he was cheating on me. He would gaslight me into thinking I was crazy and do the same shit. The hardest part of all the mental, physical, emotional, psychological abuse was when I was finally able to see it for what it was, when I was finally able to choose myself, and I was finally walking away from this demon. The amount of people that I thought loved me that just stayed quiet, that just pretended they didn't know anything. Half of them had seen him in action before, had brought it to my attention, but they don't want nothing to do with it. And there's cops involved and lawyers involved. Fine. I understand staying out of people's business. Not when you're taking the abuser's side. And that happens far too often. I have met way too many women at this point that have gone through the same thing. So many people take the abuser's side, and I needed to psychologically understand that too. This is all part of the mind fuck though. They train allies for however long you were with them. Behind your back, they're talking about you. My ex used to call me a liar all the time. He was able to pull that off because in my addiction, I was a liar. But everyone who knew me knew that I did not lie as soon as I got sober over 5 years ago. We never talked about the fact that he lied to me every single day of his life for the first 2 years of our relationship when I was completely naive and blind to the fact that he was a drug addict. We never talked about him stealing my money. We never talked about him cheating, lying every single day about what he was doing. We never talked about the fact that he got me arrested with drugs before I even knew what they looked like. He got my entire brand new car impounded before I even knew what heroin looked like. We weren't allowed to talk about any of that stuff. I went down the road of addiction because I didn't want to give up on him. I tried to help him for the first year and a half, blew my life up in the process, but he would eventually gaslight me into believing my addiction and his addiction were my faults. The insanity of these relationships is indescribable. It's almost unbelievable to someone who has not been through it themselves. I healed because I found other people who had been through this and healed themselves, who made me know that I wasn't going crazy because I literally could not remember anything. When you are traumatized, when you are in a trauma bond, which is a narcissistic abuse relationship, you're addicted. Like, there might as well be rehabs for these things because your brain is chemically addicted. There is scientific research done on this topic. It is the exact same chemicals released in your brain that are released during opiate addiction, okay? And I can tell you the narcissistic abuse and leaving it was worse. I say this all the time. With that being said, today, December 2nd, 2025, is the 10-year anniversary of my mom's passing. Last year, I didn't even remember because today is also 1 year exactly since I left this abusive relationship. I was so distraught at this time last year, I didn't even remember the date of my mom's passing. She was my person. I asked for her guidance. I literally remember sitting in the pouring rain one of the nights after I got home from working a 14-hour shift and got abused for something I didn't do. I prayed, I talked to her. I said, please Fix him. Why is this happening? And if he's not fixable, help me get out of this situation, which she tried to do a million times when I was alive. Believe me, my family did everything in their power to get me away from this man when I was 19. Sometimes I really believe our loved ones can do more for us on the other side than they can when they're here. The things that I knew were going to happen before they happened were insane. There is no other explanation other than someone was protecting me. Now, all I want to do is protect other people who are stuck in these relationships and don't know how to get out of them, because I now know what information you need to consume, what you need to understand. Knowledge is power, my friend. Once you understand what is happening to you, you can break the cycle. I can't think of a more appropriate date than the 10-year passing of my me mom, which is also simultaneously the 1-year anniversary of me being free of narcissistic abuse, to announce, while being a single mom of 5 kids and running in circles trying to support a household by myself, I am also simultaneously writing up a coaching program for people who are trying to heal from addiction, trauma, narcissistic abuse, any of the things that I have been through. I've recovered from SA, opiate addiction, EDs. Over the last 2 decades of my life, I have recovered from each thing. The final thing was the narcissistic abuse that led to a lot of the other trauma. If you are seeing this, please help me push this out. Please help me get this to people who need help, because I want to help. I'm having a very difficult time finding a job right now. I get no support from my ex. I am single-handedly doing all of this, single-handedly doing Christmas. And help me help you. I have written up so many things. I have guides for each month of the recovery process, because it is not something that you just recover from in a week. This is deep psychological trauma. It takes time. You will recover quicker if you have someone who understands. It's literally the same thing as recovering from addiction. People go to AA, people go to NA because you need to be around people that have done it. There is a 12-step process. I literally have written out 12 steps for recovering from narcissistic abuse. If anyone is interested in this coaching program, I would say DM me, but don't DM me because I am horrible. I need to clear out all the spam in my DM. If you know someone who could benefit from this, if you are someone who wants one-on-one coaching, I'm eventually going to do group therapy too. Comment below and I will DM you. If you can't afford the program, I will work with you because I just want to help people. I just feel like I can monetize on this app, help more people, and also simultaneously help myself because I am drowning in financial obligations right now. I love you guys so much. I will be posting more content based around this coaching. I will be posting my new profile that will be specifically for the coaching very soon. Thank you for being here. To all of you that supported me, to all of you that helped me get here, I love you more than life itself.